Hello, and welcome to Dork Tales. This is Critical Role, Call of the Netherdeep. I'm your Dungeon Master Kelly, and I'm excited to be here tonight because tonight we are doing our Session 0 of this fantastic new game from Critical Role and Wizards of the Coast. Here it is. So I hope you don't mind. I was told to dress like a Dungeon Master tonight, so I thought I would. I don't know how Matt Mercer does this. There's so much hair. All right, so folks, we have an hour to go through things, and then we're going to go raid Critical Role. So I want to hit this off right. So, a little bit. So, greetings. What is Dork Tales? Dork Tales is a group of Canadian role-players, cosplayers, writers, and performers coming out of the Pacific Northwest of Canada. We're a bunch of geeks and dorks who get together and play role-playing games and have a great time. Some of us are voice actors, some of us are just general performers, some of us are just huge role-playing nerds. And yeah, that's definitely Chris. So we have been working together off and on for about 15, 20 years. Most of us now have been friends, working and playing games together. Some of us are slightly newer, and we've been around for about 3 years streaming content on the internet. You can find us here at twitch.tv/dorktales or on youtube.com/dorktales. What is Call of the Netherdeep? Call of the Netherdeep is a new module from Critical Role and Wizards of the Coast that is set in Xarria, the world of Critical Role. And here, we are going to determine whether or not we can change fate and follow a group of intrepid adventurers as they travel across the world looking for clues to an ancient mystery. All right, so with that in mind, minor spoiler warning, this is going to be a Session 0. So we're going to talk about some grand, sweeping things with the plot, as well as character options. This will not affect the story in any way, and should not spoil anything for players, really. However, if you want to go in 100% blind and let your Dungeon Master control everything you know, this might not be the video for you. That being said, at the end of this video, you will know nothing more than a starting character would. Okay? And finally, I just wanted to say that a note about Critical Role, despite what we appear to be, we are not Critical Role. That means that we may not get their lore 100% correct. We may not get their world 100% correct. I may not be able to do every one of Matt Mercer's voices 100% correct. But we're going to try our damnedest, we're going to do our best, and we're going to hope that you're going to enjoy us along this. We're also going to use slightly different house rules, and we play things our way, and we put emphasis on our storytelling the way that we do at Dork Tales. So hopefully you'll enjoy that, and you will know that we're coming at, no matter what we're coming at inside of Xarria, it's from a place of love and a place of deep respect, because imitation is the greatest form of flattery, right? And okay, so what this session will be about tonight, we are going to summarize the topics of Session 1, and we're gonna build characters. We're going to talk about tone, content, veils, lines, all the stuff we need to do to be able to know what we are bringing to the table as a group. Then we are going to talk about, we're going to talk about our normal night, which is Tuesday night on every week where there's not a life event or something. We will be broadcasting at 7 p.m. Pacific. It will be going up, I'm going to try for 24 hours every week on YouTube. So if you didn't see it on the first night, you'll see it on the Wednesday. And we will also be releasing to podcast once per week as well. I will let you know how long it's going to take me to get the podcast version up. And with that, so let's go ahead and start talking. So I'll start off and then I'll pass it around the circle to introduce ourselves. I'm Kelly, I'm your Dungeon Master. I use he and him as my pronouns, and I am very, very excited about this module and have been for many months. I really like a lot of the things I've been reading in this book, and I'm very excited to delve deeper into it, and I'm very happy to be here. I'm playing with some of my favorite people in the world. I am a storyteller by trade. I'm a professional writer, performer, and baby voice actor. And I guess I'm a professional dungeon master and storyteller now, so that's kind of fun. Yeah, that's me. Right? Yay! I can't tell you. I have NDAs, guys. I can't talk about things. It's great. So that is me. I'm going to pass it over. And Robin, please introduce yourself.
I'm assuming you pass it to me?
I'm passing it to you. Are you having any problems?
Sorry. Yeah, you're almost unintelligible for me. Yes. If I take a bit to answer things, it's because I'm trying to catch up on my
That's
Zoom.
Okay.
But, But
did you remember, have you closed ping completely?
Yes, I have.
What's going on?
Yep, you are nearly unintelligible. It's very like...
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What about the
yeah, I
rest
can
of
hear
us?
you guys perfectly fine.
Kelly's already transported to the Netherdeep, and your connection's just real
Hello.
bad.
I thought
very-
I was in the Netherdeep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Is this any better?
Nope.
Okay.
Strange.
It's... that's all I'm... Like, I can
Whoa.
kind of hear what you're saying.
That's so weird.
My internet's being shitty tonight, apparently.
Yeah, fair. All right, please introduce yourself.
Okay, hello everyone, I'm Robin. I use she, her, or they, them pronouns, and I am super duper excited to be playing this. I started Critical Role about the same time I actually got into D&D. My friend Hayden, who introduced me to the Dork Tales team, also got me onto Critical Role. I was listening to D&D podcasts before, but I found Critical Role in 2020, and I love their world. I love Matt Mercer as a DM. I love everyone there, so I'm super excited to getting to play in their world and see what they've made, because it's like, that's the dream right there, is to eventually like create something like that other people play. So really excited, looking forward to that. I'm second gen gamer in the chat. I also have a Twitch channel, but I don't really stream on it because I'm too busy doing Dork Tale stuff, which I actually enjoy better. So yeah, that's me.
All right, let's pass it over to Christa.
As you do, and I get attacked by a cat. Hi, I'm Christa. I am Chahista FX in the chat, as well as on most other social medias, Instagram and TikTok. I go by she, her, or they, them pronouns. You can normally find me here though on Dork Tales in a number of games, as well as I run our TikTok, which is new and exciting and lots of fun. So go check us out over there and duet our nonsense, because it is nonsense indeed.
If you are not into TikTok, you can find Krista's work up on our YouTube as well, under our YouTube Shorts. And Christa, you have the ability to add those now.
Yes, I saw that.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
All right, let's pass it down to Caitlan. Hello, Caitlan.
Hello, I'm Caitlan. I use she, her pronouns, and I go by Petite Medic on all social medias. And I am super excited to be here and be doing this one. I'm really excited for my character too. She's pretty great, but we're not talking about her yet.
It's true. We're going to talk about her in a minute. All right, and finally, our newest addition to regular play. Hey, Chris, how's it going?
It's pretty exciting to be part of regular play. I am a little intimidated by it, but anyway, hi, I'm Chris, and I go by he, him, or they. You can also find me as Blogg in the chat or on the Discord. I think it's on there. And I've been gaming for like 25 years. And I'm actually really new to Critical Role. I started getting into it actually for this, and I'm like super stoked to do this. And that's also why there's a little bit of intimidation, because I definitely do not think that I know as much as a lot of the fans who might be tuning into this do. And it just seems like such a wonderful world that has a lot of meaning to a lot of people. And I really want to nail this.
You don't want to mess it up, right? Like, there's a little bit of pressure. Robin is actually our resident Critical Role expert. Everybody here has watched, I think, at least some Vox Machina, or if not all of Vox Machina.
Yep.
I'm most of the way through season 1, and then I started running Dork Tales, and that ate my time. And I've been working my way through campaign 2 and 3, but there's a lot. So I'm doing my best, folks. All right, so that is our cast for this game. With that, why don't we go through again, and everybody else, let's go through this one more time. Tell me about your character. Like, give me a minute on who you're playing and why. Let's start with Chris. We'll start with you. We'll go in reverse.
Right. I am playing Dorlen Wildrock, a gnome artificer, and he's a little bit impulsive. I've decided that he's going to be like a kind of a little bit more gullible and naive, always looking for the best in other people, but quickly loses sight of the important details around him. So he's definitely the kind of person to be like, okay, there's something glaring going on right there, and he's just like, wait, but what about this random other thing like over here? And he's generally actually like a fairly friendly character with some more noble aspirations, but he's also got a tendency to get into a lot of trouble because he doesn't he's very intelligent, but he doesn't think through about like the real world consequences of things. And he's also very hands-on. Like if there's a big red button somewhere, he's gonna want to know what it does at like almost any cost. And I see that and his incredibly trusting nature getting him into a lot of trouble, hopefully.
Nice. Caitlan, let's hear about who you are playing.
Hello. All right. So my character is Xarria Rainn. She is a cleric of the Raven Queen, with the blood domain. That's not a spoiler. I can say that.
I think you can say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Nice.
actually really fun because that's one of Matt Mercer's homebrews is the blood domain stuff. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so good. In general, though, she is a little bit sassy, a little bit quick-witted, a little bit flirty, but she does have the best intentions at heart, and she does do most things for the good of the group, maybe in ways that are unexpected, though. So.
Nice. All right, Christa, tell me a little bit about Sabina. Oh, and Caitlan, this is the first time that you are going to be doing body paint.
Yes, actually, I'm going to be pink. Completely pink. Also, I wanted to mention this because I didn't mention this before. I got a really cute notebook for the campaign. Oh no, it's gone.
Oh, that's
Can you
cute.
see it? Oh no, it's gone.
How is
she
it,
gone?
Why is it fancy?
Yeah,
It's not
share
green.
pictures in Discord.
I'll share
and,
pictures in Discord.
Yeah.
Oh, here.
So everybody join Discord so you can
can't
see it.
super see it though.
Nice. Yeah, join our Discord.
Yeah.
That's lovely. I would like to rage for that. Christa, tell us about Sabina.
Well, Sabina is a lore song. No, Lotus Den. Lore song is weird alternate other game that isn't even D&D. A Lotus Den halfling, which is from Wildmount, and she is a Beastmaster Ranger, which is, I know everybody kind of dunks on, but I've always wanted to play a classic Ranger. I love me some Rangers, and I know everyone makes fun of them, but I am a fan. And the new stuff that came out in Tasha's, which introduces the Primal Companion instead of the sort of OG Animal Companion, I think takes away a lot of the detriment that was there from the previous ruling, because it was a little low-ended. So I'm going to be using the Beast of the Land template. And now the flavor of Beast of the Land template does say that it is a like spiritual beast, but I really wanted a physical actual animal. So my physical actual animal is going to be a young moorbounder, which is from the Wildmount as well. From the marshes of Wildmount. So very excited about that. I think they're very cool. They're like big giant jaguars with like big tusks and slit goat eyes and are very cool. So I'm very excited. Yes, my character is Sabina Moorden, and her moorbounder's name is Dax, and is from the swamps of Wildmount and stands by the story that she was abandoned as a child and raised by moorbounders. And you can't get her to stay different.
Nice. All right, and finally, Robin, because I know that out of everybody, you are probably the most excited about your character.
Yes.
So tell us a couple of things about Kaeko.
Oh, only a couple things? Okay.
Only a couple things. Save it for Tuesday. Save it for Tuesday.
I know. So I am playing Kaeko Skaar. Can you hear that dog barking in my
A little bit, but we
thing?
like dog. It's episode 0. I don't care.
Okay, cool. It's cool. My landlord's dad's father's dog is over in my laundry room, apparently barking his head off just now. But yes, I am playing Kaeko Skaar, who is a Goliath bard, because I love the the juxtaposition of those two classes and race, because I just think it's such a great idea that someone who should have been built for strength and, you know, who was supposed to be like captain of the football team, getting the scholarship to go to varsity to play football, and decides to be the theater nerd because that's who Kaeko is. She's a Goliath, and she originally was in a tribe and was training to be a soldier. I took the soldier background for her, minor little sneak of do for her. So she is training as a soldier, but she decided that she heard battle and she could hear music in battle, and so she wanted to be a bard. She found that would be better. So she is kind of dumb. My int and wisdom are my lowest stats, because I wanted charisma and strength for my bard, so that's how I built her. She has an 18 strength and a 16 charisma. So she walks around with her battle axe, and she gets into all kinds of trouble. She I would say she thinks she's the best at what she does, and she thinks she's the smartest in the room, but she definitely isn't. And I think Chris used the word naive a bit. I think Kaeko is she's a bit happy dumb kind of thing, where she, I think, tries to see the best in everyone, because she was maybe not sure the best herself. So I think she tries to do the best of that.
Is she okay? So is Robin the giant cinnamon roll of this campaign? Cinnamon roll.
She
with an
might
axe?
be.
Okay.
She might be the cinnamon roll with an axe. Do you want? Should I say my subclass? I had random Equinox ask.
Sure.
Sure. I chose actually one of Matt Mercer's homebrew subclasses. That actually didn't get published, but I liked it better than the College of Tragedy that's in the Teldori setting book. I actually went with the Maestro class. So she is a composer, which is why in her art she has a someone guessed if it was a wand or like a conductor's wand. It's kind of both. So I chose the Maestro class because I think that's what she does. Is she's more of a leader because she hears the way the battle works and she hears the best things to happen, and that's how she does it. So I chose the Maestro class, which is super cool. I'm really excited to get into it because it is a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that.
Nice.
So no, it's not the emo bard. I looked at that and after it was released, but I had already had my heart set months ago on the Maestro class when Kelly mentioned that he was going to be running this. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look for classes.
Really excited to see the Maestro Bard because I know absolutely nothing about it. So like, it's just going to be great to be completely surprised by everything, all the shenanigans you pull.
It's funny because from the silhouette releases we did, everyone thought you were an elf wizard because of the conducting wand. So that was kind of fun. They're like, oh, it's tall with a wand, obviously. Okay, so that is the cast for the game so far. Who knows if that's going to change in the future. So we are going to talk about a number of things as part of the session one. So first off, we're going to talk about tone, themes, and content. Then we're going to talk about house rules. And then we're going to talk about Call of the Netherdeep and some things that we need to know for character creation. Now, unlike previous session zeros like Wild Beyond the Witchlight, there isn't actually much in this book that sets up the flavor of the campaign that needs to be established right off the bat. So any D&D party can fit into Call of the Netherdeep. You don't have to specially design it. Like Witchlight kind of leans into that, where there are a couple of different starting points depending on like which you pick. Netherdeep, you guys are starting at a party, so that's going to be fun. But I think first off, let's talk about tones, theme, and content. So first off, if this were a movie, what do you want it rated? Because what I'm personally thinking is that this is like the R-rated version of the Brendan Fraser Mummy. That's what I want. Yeah?
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I want R-rated. I want to, because I'm listening. I've listened to all of campaign 2 from Critical Role, and I'm onto I'm listening through Vox Machina, and I'm like episode almost 40 now, and they get raunchy.
They're
like,
very raunchy.
Caitlan is hilarious, and I want that level of R-rated where we can get a little bit, XXX.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. So, how about everybody else? Is that how we all feeling about that?
That's kind of what I was thinking. Maybe not like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I was also thinking, like, if we're doing a critical role, because it is the critical role module, and that's they kind of do those kind of things and those kind of jokes. So I was totally ready to jump in with that as well. And so that's kind of where I was thinking. And I do like that R-rated mummy idea, because that's
so good.
definitely feels like it.
This feels like flipping through it like a cross between the Mummy and like the new Conan with Jason Momoa. There's some art in this book that's immediately like, I'm like, I'm not going to enjoy running that scene so much. That's going to be a little dark. It's darker than I expected.
I'm happy to hear that. Like I like sense of humor, fun, like hearing and seeing some of the like Vox Machina, and like everyone's like talking about Scanlan, like with all his like fucking shenanigans. That was hilarious, and that was a lot of fun to watch. But like combinations of that and dark, I think like the two extremes like kind of together really make each moment stand out more. So I'm down with dark, with X-rated, R-rated, like what? Well, maybe not X, but like R-rated.
Fade to black.
Fade to black. Twitch terms of
fade to black. Fine. Like humor, like go nuts. But like you're saying that it was like R-rated The Mummy. Like The Mummy was a blast. Yeah. And like even like the like scarabs going under the skin and everything was kind of like but like I'd love to. I do enjoy the darker games where there's a little bit more suffering as well, but the both, like having both in a game is like sounds ideal to me.
Nice. I absolutely agree. Christa, what do you think about that? About on par?
I don't know who any of these people you're talking about is, but I know the mummy.
I was gonna say, you know,
the mummy. I know the Mummy. I don't know anybody else you're talking about. So yes, okay. But I do love the Mummy. So I'm down for that.
So some of the themes that I'm looking at in here, besides the typical themes of like adventure and friendship, there are a lot of themes of like social dynamic in this game. Okay, there's a lot which we'll get into really soon. Actually, not only your party, but you are going to be pitted against other parties, in particular one rival party, which will become the foils to your adventure. Now we'll touch on that in a minute, but other themes that we need to know, or that I need to address to you are, besides adventure, there is corruption and horror. So corruption is a major theme of this. There is, if this were a wine tasting, you would say, there are notes of Dragon Age in here. Followed by, let's see, besides some Dragon Age, I see that there's some Call of Cthulhu in here. Yes, I see. And also some oak. I don't know why. There's always oak. I don't know why. It's in everything. A little bit of orange peel.
There is always oak.
There is. So corruption and horror. So long as y'all are okay with that, there is a risk that each of you may become corrupted and may be... actually, there's another... so Dragon Age, but also Lord of the Rings. There is a big component of like that, like the corruption of the ring. That type of thing kind of leans in here.
And how much does that like is it is that, if this isn't giving anything away, is that like a gradual thing? Is it a build up, or is it it is like very perfect. Much Dragon Age, very much Lord of the Rings, the growing corruption. Perfect, because like I found with like one of the things I don't personally like about the Call of Cthulhu games that I've seen is it seems like it's just all of a sudden you reach a threshold and you're like crazy, or just crazy, like right off the bat. Whereas like the idea of like something gradual, like growing, like I can role play that. It's just like, all right, you're starting to drift more towards this. It's just like, okay, I can focus on that and grow towards that and lean into that. So gradual sounds great.
Yep. Everybody okay with that? So the potential for your character to be corrupted, all good?
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I will be the BBEG at the end of the party.
All right.
Hey, that's mine.
No spoilers.
I wanted to.
It's just, you know what? It's going to be an all-evil party by the end of the game. It'll be fine.
Yes.
I could actually see every one of your characters turning evil. That's good. I like that. Moral complexity.
I love it.
All right, so let's do show of hands real quick for a nice, easy one. So if you are cool with this in theory, just give me a thumbs up. Ready? Violence. Sex. Horror. Mimics. All right, good. Mimics are always the test one. Okay, so with that in mind, so violence, for those of you who have played or watched Dork Tales games, you know that I get pretty in-depth
Mike
with some
put
of my...
his thumb up.
Oh, okay. So that I get very into a lot of my violence descriptions. If there is anything that you do not need me to describe, okay, let me know. We'll talk about that in just a sec with lines and veils. But the same thing goes with any type of role-played romance or sexual contact. I am of the opinion of if it could show up on like network TV and the person is comfortable role-playing that back, I'm totally okay with that. The whole like, oh yes, you kiss and then you do a fade to black. I don't need to know. And if you've watched any Dork Tales games, you know that like any of the... I don't get deep into it. That just sounds like a horrible entendre, Christa. Thank you for that. But
Didn't even have to unmute, and you knew.
I knew. I could just feel it, the force. But I think that it's way better to leave it to the imagination. In fact, many times I leave it up to my imagination. I've had a lot of times in game where people have gone off together. I actually don't know if anything happened. I figured the player will tell me if they want to, because I'm not going to like do I'm not the type of dungeon master who like leers over my screen and goes, "Ooh, time for a pregnancy roll," or something like that. So it's like, you do what you want to do. If it needs to come back later as a plot point, we'll talk. So long as everybody's cool with that, and also you can always take control, okay? In scenes of violence, scenes of corruption, scenes of horror, if you're ever uncomfortable, you can take control and say, we fade to black on that, maybe. That's all you got to do. And we've all played together for a while, folks. So if you are running your own version of this, definitely try some techniques. There are lines and veils. There's black card. If you're playing around a table, just put a piece of paper on the center of the table that people can touch if they're uncomfortable with something. Besides that, private message is really good, and so you can use a really simple red, yellow, green system where green is go, keep doing it, I don't care, torture's funny, or maybe you're dealing with something that is not particularly comfortable for you, but you're interested in where it's going. That's a yellow. It's, we'll slow down. I like where this is going, but be ready because I'm uncomfortable. And then red is just, no, I don't want to deal with this. That's things like bad topics, which are... we're not going to get into right now. You can imagine some of the things that would definitely be just kind of not fun for the table. I think that we have a good sense of each other and that we have negotiated this through numerous games behind the screen. So I think that we're probably okay because we've run with each other forever. But in case there is anything that you would like to restate, why don't we move on to this? Does anyone have any lines or veils that they would like to address to the audience? So lines are just hard lines. We don't do it. For example, I don't like depictions of any type of sexualized violence. I just don't think it adds to the story. I think that if it is something that is, I don't even know, necessary to the story is ever a thing, but if it's something that the players or the players want to explore as a background element, we're just not going to get into it. It can be a thing that, yeah, if you really want it to have happened to you, that's fine. We're not going to roleplay it. I don't want to. The same thing happens with... I'm not particularly big on... that's about it, actually. Those are my big ones. I have trouble listening to certain things on my own as a podcast, like involving certain types of medical conditions, because I've had a lot of family members that have suffered from them. But role-playing them is not the same for me. So those are my lines and veils. Veils being something where you're kind of iffy on it a lot of the time. Like, it's something that you're willing to consider, but it is something that you want to keep at arm's reach. So what about y'all? So does anybody have a line or a veil that they want to, are comfortable communicating verbally to the world?
Sort of.
Sure. Yeah. What is it?
Really, really weird. And I actually do want, if it's relevant, it to be pushed a little. But I might fade to black. Eye stuff really bothers me. Like, I can't even put contacts or touch my eyes, and for the longest time, seeing somebody touch their eye just really bothered me. And it might be like that my eyes have been the only thing that I've actually ever really liked, like physically, about myself, and maybe it's something about that, but like it really does bother me, and it is something that I'm trying to like push, because I thought maybe like some cool contacts at some point in the future for some of these games might be kind of cool. But if it does come up and it's natural progression for the story, I would like to try to push it, because I know some of the games in the past that you've run, like some of the in-person ones, like have been quite cathartic, and I feel like really good for a lot of personal stuff that I've gone through, and I feel like this would be a safe medium to kind of maybe push that boundary, but only if it makes sense. I just want to state that I'm likely to be like, okay, fade to black, and it might seem simple to a lot of other people, but I just want to I just want to state it.
Totally
like
no, thank you for saying it. Some other people have things. You mentioned the scarabs. The mummy scarabs are the number one thing I have ever received in terms of I can't deal with this in a game. It's bugs under the skin. People are just like, nope. Nope, because I will get into the description. I have made people unable to eat food before from running games. Our friend James still has issues with sausage sometimes because of me. But well, that's another story.
I'd say fingernails.
Fingernails. Okay.
That's a no-no.
That's a good one, actually. Yeah.
Okay. That's one that gets me too. There's a moment in a movie called Stir of Echoes that has always haunted me. And if you know the movie, you know the scene. I also wanted to say real quick that just because we have said that as a group we are comfortable with this and that we know each other's lines and veils, I do want to say that someone in the chat just brought up that, the people change over time and certain people may learn things about themselves. That's cool. Privately, I'll give you a peek behind the curtain right now. We talk a lot about this extensively off camera as well. I also have a character and player survey that I send out before each of my games that requests these. So I have documents of these on the side. But this is just what I'm willing to what everyone's willing to talk about during a session 0. So for your own games, absolutely double check. But for the purposes of entertainment, we round up a little. Yes. Chris.
The thing I want to point out about that's really nice is that you can answer privately to the person running the game, and then that person, like Kelly, will set the ground rules for everyone else. So it can be it's a great way to do it, because especially with larger games and LARPs that he's run, it's a great way to keep everything anonymous if you're not comfortable talking to everyone about it. So I personally think that's a really good way to do it, and I've seen some people not do it so much that way, and I think that's the right way to do it personally.
Yeah, there I've been in some pretty horrible games where things have been really off the deep end. But we'll talk about that maybe during DorkX, our online convention. Does anybody have anything else they want to throw in? Or are we good for this point? Yes, Christa, Robin.
I'll just throw in this one just because I know a lot of people have been talking about like the violence of things. Just as an example, this is going to make me sound very vain and full of myself. I don't like being called dumb.
True.
It just triggers something in me that makes me really, really upset. And this is something I've talked to Kelly about. I talked to
because I accidentally stepped on that once, where I said something was dumb because I was. And I wasn't calling you dumb, but I was calling the thing dumb. And it was a really stressful night because we were finishing a series, and I felt really bad about it. But I'm glad we had a chance to talk about it.
Yeah, and I think that's something I think we have a lot of things about us that I don't care if if a character is said that, but if I propose an idea for maybe we should do this going forward, and someone goes, oh well, that's dumb, then that hurts me. And I think those kind of triggers are just as important for a lot of us that have mental health problems. And so I think that kind of stuff should be discussed as well. There's certain confrontations that I'm not good at having, and those are things that like I feel comfortable enough with the people that I play with that I can be like, hey, I need to stop now because I'm having a panic attack.
Yeah.
And I think those are just as important as the squidgy stuff.
Fair enough. All right. Anybody else have anything else they want to drop on this one? Robin, you had something.
Yeah, speaking of like finding out about things that as you change, for me, like it was I think episode 1 or 2 of Witchlight, where we went through the cave and you described, because I don't have a fear of spiders and usually I'm okay with them, but with the describing the like little spiders on me, I have been traumatized as a kid from the movie Brothers Grimm, where there's the little spiders coming out of the horse's mouth to eat the little girl. That traumatized me for life, and so I can't do little spiders on me. Other people's fine, but just keep
and we've had
spiders
players
off.
in our games before that have had actual arachnophobia, like of any size spider, and like giant spiders, little spiders, and it's like, okay, we just I mean, honestly, we've had a player recently in one of our games that actually has a phobia of clowns. And it sounds, if you think about it, it does sound kind of funny, but when the player's like, no, like really, I just can't. The only answer is to go, okay, done. Like, if it's a communal environment, so no little spiders. I actually think this is pretty spider free. If any of you are afraid of the ocean or the water, I think that's you all grew up near water. I grew up in Missouri. There's a lot of lakes.
Water, so we know what's in it.
I don't know what's in it, and that, like, I actually get nervous around the ocean. So this is going to be a fun one to run, and I hope to take that little bit of anxiety I have and cram it into game to make you anxious.
You know what?
Yeah, I was
Fair
gonna
enough.
say-
Grown up on the beach, like pretty much swimming in the water all the time. And as soon as I get over to like where I can't see the bottom, like I get anxious, and like I grew up swimming in the ocean all the time. Like,
I have one last one.
Sure.
So it just kind of dawned on me. Anything that so I a little bit like trypophobic. I know it's kind of like a thing on the like people are like, oh, does that really exist? Oh, I found it on the internet kind of thing. But like, yeah. So maybe if you could warn me if there are any images like that you're like be like, it looks like this, and then it's like a trypophobic fucking nightmare.
Okay. I'll just show you Gritty.
Great.
I'll just show you Gritty.
what is that one?
Oh, good.
What is what?
So-
Lotus pods.
Yeah, so it's like your background is fine, but there are a whole bunch of like circles that are like really close together. And so it's like kind of if like there's a lot of like photoshopped like lotus pods onto something, and often there is also something inside them. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but
Caitlan, I'm going to quickly describe it, so just don't listen for the next 5 seconds.
I'll look it up. No, I can look it up.
All right, sounds good. Just trust me, when you see it, you'll know why. It can be creepy. All right, so I think we're good with lines and veils. So let's quickly talk about okay. Also, because this is set in Xarria, there are alternate rules for blood magic. Is everyone okay with that? Because that will involve topics of self-harm, because you have to cut yourself to get the blood out. Is everybody okay with that, or is this something we'd rather avoid?
Good to go.
We're good? Okay.
I also played a character, Rainn.
You played a blood
that
hunter,
did that.
yeah. I figured everyone would be okay with that, but they specifically say in the new book that you should ask your players, and I agree. Like, some people do have histories
That's
of
really
self-harm,
good.
so it's good. Do you have any favorite topics you want to tell me about real quick? Just favorite things that you love to experience in games? Because my favorite, I love me a good, like, relationship or romance, personally, like an authentic one, and I love being able to talk things down. Those are something I really enjoy in games, and getting nat 20s and beheading things, of course, but like, if I can seduce the monster, my class is bard.
Oh yes, I get to seduce things.
Does anybody have anything that they really love in games besides the obvious?
Hurt them more.
Hurt them more? We'll talk about that in a
Oh
second.
boy.
I like to be able to, like you said, like talk people down. Like I like the idea of being able to do things that are outside of the box. And I know it's kind of a, it's sort of like, hey DM, figure out what I need to do this. So it's sometimes a little bit extra work for you, but I like being able to, instead of being like, I swing at him, being like, hey, is there a this thing in the room and can I use it for blank? I like that kind of stuff.
I think I'm in the right party because like as much as like I like playing characters who can throw down, and oftentimes I end up playing like kind of a dumb brute. I'm really, one of the things I'm looking forward to this character is like he's willing to, but he's probably going to end, if it's like a sentient creature, probably end each hit if he gets that blow as a non-lethal. Like kind of like, even if like he doesn't want to kill people, if he can help it. So like the idea of like trying to like seek a non-violent solution at first, but still willing to go for it if necessary.
One thing I do want to say, and it's one of the things, because there is like a half-second delay on our call because we're doing this via distance, it's a little harder than like Critical Role themselves who sit around a table and play. But one of the things I really admire about what they do is that they're always offering ideas to each other. And I think that that is one of the best parts about communal storytelling, is that you have that opportunity. When I'm describing a room inside of this module, even though the module's written, they cannot figure and imagine every single thing that is in the room. Even if they say, like, even if the full description is there, someone in the chat just said, I chandelier? Yeah, there might be a chandelier. I don't know. It's a role-playing game. We're making this up. So, you know, if it is logical that it would be in the room, I prefer to lead forward with the improv motto of yes and or yes but. So you're like, okay, well, is there something I can swing on? I'm like, yeah, but it's going to be dangerous. Right? And then we can roll with that, right? I want this to be give and take. I want you to trust me, and I'm going to trust you to not be like, yes, is there the button that explodes the big bad? Yes. It's inside of him.
We're not going to Dungeons and Daddies you and literally go back and re-record episodes.
Yes.
How do I press that button?
You have to go in through the colon. Make your seduction
You think
roll.
that will stop me?
No, fade to black.
Like, I'm going in.
I think your charisma stat will stop you.
Charisma? No. My charisma's positive. It's my wisdom.
Oh, okay.
I have no wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay.
I
Anyway,
can be possessed like a motherfucker.
well, you know, possession is 9/10 of the law. All right, so let's talk about some things that you need to know for watching this game. So, house rules. We tend to not use very many in what these are module games. In our homebrew games, I use tons of house rules. And I'll let you know when those are. But this is a game we're running out of a book. This is a paint by numbers. So we're using a minimum. All right, first off, DM caveat, if I say a rule works a certain way, it works a certain way, period. At me. I don't care. Rule of cool. If something's cool, I might allow it, just for fun, because this is a game and we're having fun. Okay? That means as well that if the monsters do something particularly cool, they might. I err on the side that you are the heroes of this adventure, and if this were a movie, what would I want to see? And if it's you being cooler, I'm going to allow it. Okay, inspiration. So, at the beginning of the game, everybody is going to get a point of inspiration at the start of game. You get one. You might get another if you do something amazing. I want to ask you right now, this will be a permanent thing. In a lot of Critical Role stuff, Matt Mercer gives a D6 instead of a D20. So that it's little like bardic inspirations rather than full D20 inspirations. Which of the two options would you prefer? Do you like the
so it's the difference of a re-roll versus an inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a difference of an added dice bonus.
Are we still keeping
Determination? Yeah.
Determination. Yeah.
E8 and you got a deal.
Okay, so
You're bargaining.
I think I like the re-roll better,
Okay.
personally.
Yeah.
I also like the reroll better just because a d6 is likely going to be pretty much the same as determination, which can be bought, but inspiration cannot.
Statistically, I believe that the D20 is actually a little bit better, whereas like
It's-
actually and seriously, the D8 is a little bit more even.
okay, so that sounds good. So we'll do the D20. The way that it works, the way that I run inspiration is you can roll it before or after the roll, but before I tell you if you succeed or not. You cannot use inspiration on a nat 1. If you botch, you can't inspire your way out of it. You gotta suck it up unless you're a halfling. Yes, Caitlan.
Personally, I usually say, okay, I'm going to spend my inspiration on this. I really want to get it, kind of thing. So then I wouldn't know if I had botched before. So if one of them comes up as a 1, is it just a 1?
It's basically only if you use it as a reroll.
Oh, okay.
So if you
Perfect.
choose to spend it afterwards, you can't choose to spend it afterwards if you roll a 1. That's the benefit of spending it in advance, because it can cancel out that nat 1. Okay, death saves. Okay, so quick show of hands. One of the things that I've been doing for tension recently in my games is I roll your death saves. Okay, are people down with that?
Oh, hell yes. I don't want to know.
Okay.
I think I would prefer it if upon those death saves we get a little bit of a description to maybe get a feel of what it was.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that
Because
too.
like I just watched the because I was editing chunks out of it. I just watched a game from before where like you'd roll death saves and then like game happened for 5 to 10 minutes. And then the character found out they died, and it was very like underwhelming. So like
in one of my games?
It was one of the no prep games. It was the one where it was when James gets killed by Rainbow Dash. And I was like expecting it to be this big thing because it was this like, and now to be fair, that wasn't in combat, so fair. But it was like it kind of, so I would like it if you could like when you roll the maybe give us a little
that's
hint.
normally not my style. So normally I
No,
do
I
give
know
a
it's
little bit of
not.
advice.
Okay.
So
As long as there's a little bit of a something.
also, we're using an additional rule for this. So the way that it works is nothing sucks more than having a death save and then having to wait 20 minutes to see whether or not you get healed or make another death save. So the way that we are doing this right now is that you will make a death save, and so Christa, you are at 0 hit points. I need you to make me a death save. What are you thinking of? What memory is keeping you clinging to life? And the way that it works is you will come up with one. So when you go down, start prepping a memory. I want you to give me a reason for your character to live. If you give me a reason to live, I roll flat. If you do not have a reason to live, aka you do not give me one, you roll disadvantage, because what are you living for? If you give me a particularly good reason, as in the person that downed you to 0 hit points is the man that killed your sister, and you are here for revenge, and you give me a powerful moment, yeah, I'm going to roll with advantage. I might even count a 19 as a 20, if it's plot convenient.
Heck yeah.
You know, but that's a rule I've been using, and it gives people something to do. Chris, what's up?
I do actually really like that the idea behind a silent one, because especially with someone like you again, who we've talked about this before, where I am totally cool having my character like hitting the nards or like beaten down or whatnot, but I don't like anticlimactic death. I don't like
I hate
like
it too.
Exactly, and you and I have talked about this. So the idea that I don't know just makes it more tense and fun for me. And I also know that you're going to do what's best for the story, and that and you know that I'm okay being like the character that gets kicked in the nuts and falls over or dies, and will make it fun. So I'm totally comfortable not knowing personally, and leaving it at that and putting
Nice.
it in your hands.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so I think we're good on this point. I'm going to go into one of our other house rules, nat 20s and nat 1s. Okay, you cannot critically succeed a skill. That's in the book, and that's what I use. You can't critically... I will definitely consider it a much better result or a miraculous thing if someone who's unskilled gets a nat 20 on something. There are some times where I might not really allow you to roll. I'll give you disadvantage if you don't have a skill. For example, you're trying to remember an obscure fact with Arcana if you are a barbarian who's never seen a book or seen magic, right? I might give you a disadvantage. However, this is something I really like to do, and that is saving throws can crit and botch. If you are under the effect of a saving throw, or you make a saving throw, and normally you would take half damage. If you get a nat 20, you take 0 damage. You manage to matrix out of the way and take no damage. Consequently, don't botch on a fireball dex save. Is this a rule we want to go with?
I like it. I like it.
Yes,
What
Chris.
happens when I botch on a wisdom save for
Everything.
possession?
Chris,
Everything.
no.
To find
Let's
out what
do this.
To find out what happens, go review Rime of the Frost Maiden episode Oral's Abode and see what happens when Callie Thornhill botches a wisdom save against a ghost. It was pretty great.
I'm here for it.
Oh.
It was the only time Christine botched on camera, I think. It was great.
Like,
Wait, it was
ever.
Christine?
Well, and she
It was-
forgot too, because she's a halfling.
She gets to re-roll it, and she forgot. And it's okay. Another house rule: know your rules. I will not always remind you of your racial and class abilities and features. Number two, if we the other part of that is that if there's something that we don't know, we are going to make mistakes. We are not infallible. So if we make a mistake, let us know. We'll come back and we'll run it in the future. But at that exact moment, things went weird. Magic is strange. The world is unusual. Sometimes halflings don't have luck. Other times they have twice as much luck because I felt bad. Okay. So besides that, nat ones, we did that. Channel points. So our games are broadcast live via Twitch. So there are a couple of things that you may notice. Number one, there are things called Hurt the Moors, Dooms, or whatever we call them. These are when people who are watching a Twitch accrue something called channel points or dork points, and they can spend them. It doesn't cost them any money. It is just basically rewards for being like live viewers, and by spending them they can buy certain things that happen during the game. I dictate how they occur. There are a few big ones. Number one, Hurt Them More basically allows me to re-roll, gives me inspiration for monsters, allows me to cheat just a little, but in an official way. Number two, something good happens. Someone spends it, something good happens. It can be you find the item you're looking for. You find a little bit of gold. I can give you advantage on a roll you may not have achieved. I can give an enemy disadvantage. I can make two characters have a romantic moment in a game, as they did a while back. I'm going to keep those points, Rio. You know you can't.
Acro, your moment is now.
Okay. And then there's another one called Drama Bomb, where Drama Bomb is I make something even more dramatic. If you're on a staircase that's collapsing because a Balrog is chasing you, maybe you get trapped on a segment of stairwell like 30 feet above the rest of your friends, and then like the Viggo Mortensen hobo guy has to like help you angle it down, right? And then finally there is Determination. Determination is a way to help the chat, or for the chat to help the players. And the way that it works is you spend some points and the players get a little token that you should be able to see right there. While that token is on their character, they can expend that token at any time to add their proficiency bonus to a roll, even if they already have their proficiency bonus included. This is any skill roll or attack roll. They can also add it to saving throws. I think the only thing they can't add it to is death saves. So when they spend it, it goes away. Each player can have a maximum of one at a time, and when you are watching live, you have to tell us who it goes to. If two people buy it for once, you can always re-spend your points, or we can juggle it back. We try to do our best. Usually a lot of our games are moderated by the people who are playing, so please be patient. We're still a growing channel. We're growing children. Okay, so those are my house rules there. Actually, I had a quick question. We want to use constant determination, or do you want it to be a dice? Constant? Just because it's easier? Okay. All right. Who runs
Sorry,
Dax?
what's the difference?
So it would be like a D4 versus like +2. We'll just go with we'll go with the proficiency bonus just because it's simpler. Okay. Who runs Dax is a question.
I'm happy to do that so it's not on your table.
Do you want to just trade him back and forth?
Well, I mean, you can use him for story purposes, but like in battle, honestly, looking at his stats and stuff.
So that is what I was gonna say. I mean, who runs him? Who role plays as him? Do you want me to role play him for you so that you're not just constantly being like, oh, he cuddles me, and I can be like, oh, he cuddles you. If there's a different feeling in the room where a being, an autonomous being, chooses to interact with you, right?
Sure. Yeah. If you want to run him, and then I maybe give recommendations of what he might do.
Okay, Sounds good. All right, so folks, we've only got a few minutes before we're supposed to go raid Critical Role, so I'm going to try to cut this as close to 7 as possible. We do have a little bit left to talk of, and that is, in Critical Role Call of the Netherdeep, there is a very, very, very frustrating thing that is built into the module that we were not aware of prior to Tuesday, and that is the rival system. We knew that there was a rival system coming. However, what I didn't realize was this game was designed for 5 players.
Right.
This game is designed for 5 players. It is designed for 5 players and has 5 rival characters. And what they suggest to you is, hey, if you don't have 5 players, encounter difficulty is really easy to adjust. I can always just up or down it. I can take some hit points off in the spur of the moment. Not a big deal. But you are up against another party that can either be your best friends or worst enemies. And there are 5 of them, which means that there is an intrinsic imbalance between the 2 of your parties. Their suggestion is one of 2 things. Either A, I can remove a character from the game on their side. I don't want to do this personally. I think that all 5 of their characters are very interesting, and they all have interlocking social things with each other and with people depending on what you do. It's a very interestingly written book. The other option is to allow you to have an unbalanced party, or to hire an NPC PC. Basically, to have a travel along NPC. For those of you who've watched games, you know that I can do DM PCs without a problem. I can give you one, and later, if another player joins the game, we could figure that out in time. Is that something you are interested in? Adding a 5th person to your party who I will just roleplay as a member of the group?
Sure.
I gotta be honest, if you want to add an NPC or DM or PC, whatever it's called, that's great. I'm down being at a disadvantage personally. I know that might not be everyone's gig, but like being 4 on 5, like let's do it.
What do you all think? So do you want to be disadvantaged, or do you want to have the extra character?
I guess that gives us kind of an underdog thing, but I also really like the symmetry, like the mirroring, the
5.
foiling. If we have
who's
5
gonna
of
be
us.
who's gonna be the person you're
exactly.
staring at across the field constantly? Like, who is your arch rival of the
Who
group?
is that one? Yoga, because
then
you
it's
got
just
one.
It's just
There's
and then
the one.
the ogre right here is just so sad that nobody likes her.
Right? She can be Dax's rival.
Oh,
I was
right,
thinking
we do
that
have Dax.
I don't think that Dax counts, but he doesn't count. You know, it's one of those weird things. So
He's your
I
class
wanted
feature.
yeah, could be a class feature. So I was looking. So if you check your notes, there is a second page here where we can very quickly talk about this. Potential companion NPC. We could do male, female, non-binary, queer. I think that for party balance, I'm leaning more towards just having like another male character, just for easy balance. But I'm fine with anything that you want. And as far as ancestry, I kind of feel like medium height would probably balance this party out a little.
I'm medium height.
Yeah, I know.
But
And
I'm the only one.
You're the only one. What's up, Chris?
That's true.
Counter to the male-female thing.
Yes.
I do think that most of the people on the team currently are female presenting, I believe. So you did mention possibly somebody else coming into that, and depending, I think it might be possibly a safer bet to go female presenting, just because I don't know if you already had an idea of someone for it or not, but it might be easier if they were taking over the character to do that. I do think that people could play whatever.
They would not be taking over the character.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood.
No,
Gotcha.
that's okay. No. So with that, I have picked the races or ancestries, whatever you're talking about in this edition, that I think would be best. So human, easiest. Okay. Dwarves, fine. My personal choices are humans, elves, dragonborn, hobgoblins, and orcs. Followed by goblins, dwarves. Aasimar are also up there, if I haven't already said that. And Aarakocra. Aarakocra.
My vote's hobgoblin.
Okay. And then right now we have an artificer, a bard, a cleric, and a ranger, which means that we are down people with sticks, basically. So fighters, barbarians, wizards, sorcerers, and warlocks are probably the most useful for the party. I always think that a fighter or a sorcerer is the easiest for me to play as a side character, because they're really simple to run by comparison to, like, a wizard has more to pay attention to, in my personal opinion, than a sorcerer does. Because sorcerers are more blasty. Or warlocks are even better, because I only have to worry about 2 spells.
Blast and Hex?
So, yeah, basically just hexing. So, what I'd like is everybody pop your choice into the chat real quick. And let's see what people think. Monks are okay. I played a monk recently, though.
Oh.
Okay. Robin, are you seconding Hobgoblin Fighter? Okay, so it looks like people want a fighter. So it looks like I'm still like I'm torn. So either Hobgoblin, Dragonborn, or Elf, potentially Drow. So tell you what, we should probably wrap this up. So we'll keep building this character, and we'll talk about that. So what I would like is when I post this video, leave your comments on what you think this character should be. Who do you think this character should be right now? Because like in my head, I had it pictured as this bespectacled kind of like mid-20s human or half-elf, sorcerer, wizard, or warlock is kind of what I was thinking. Kind of I kind of look like Percy a little bit in my head. Was kind of my idea, right? It's a good look, but
It's a good look.
I don't know. People might be different. Like you might have different ideas. So you all let me know what you want to do with this, and we'll figure it out. So leave the comments on YouTube, leave the comments on Twitch, and wherever else you watch, and then we will figure it out from there. But I think besides that, we've got everything we need for session 0. We know our lines and veils. We have decided to add an NPC PC to the group to round us out. Episode 1 will be coming on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific time. It'll be coming here live. And if you're watching on YouTube, it should be up on Wednesday, my dudes. So I think that's pretty good for this. And just a quick thing for people in the chat, you're all wrong. Drow have Australian accents because they come from down under.
Whoa!
Yes.
I like it.
I can have a drow named Bruce. G'day.
I think it's
How's it
done.
going? I'm a fighter.
That's my vote.
You can, otherwise
vote.
Vistra's coming back.
You call that a
I
knife?
just got over this accent.
This is a
got
knife.
over that accent.
Okay, that's
That's a
fair.
halberd.
That's fair.
Just got over that accent to
true.
do the British accent. Don't make me
Nice.
go back.
But I would also be cool with Dragonborn because as the DM, I don't have to put makeup on, so it's great. I can just be like, hey, summon Dragonborn. It's the only time that we'll be in game together. I'll even use the Matt Mercer voice for him. Hello, I'm a Dragonborn.
As long as that's his name.
My name is Matt Mercer?
The Dragonborn.
Oh
No.
my god. He's
No,
just
Mercer the
it would be
Fully Matt Mercer.
Mercer Mats. Mercer Mats.
There you go.
My name is
Ooh.
Mercer. Anyway. All right, so folks, let's go around in a circle and say who we are, who we're going to be playing. Caitlan, we'll start with you.
Yo, hello. I'm
can we find you?
Caitlin. Petite Medic on all places that Petite Medics are sold, which is Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch. And I will be playing Xarria Rainn, the Tiefling cleric of this party.
Nice. Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. I go by Blogg in the stream and on Discord. I am exclusive to Dork Tales. Saying that just makes me feel better. And I will be playing Professor Dorlen Wildrock. And yes, I can help. I can help with that. And like, oh wait, hold on a moment. What's that?
Nice. All right, Christa.
Hi, I'm Christa. You can find me on most social media and here on Twitch in the chat as Chahista FX. I'm going to be playing Sabina Moorden, the Beastmaster Ranger, with her friend Dax, the Moorbounder. And my favorite part of the stream has been the fact that most of it, Kelly's vest has hidden some of his shirt, so it says Orc Ale, which now I want some.
Orc Ale. Oh yeah, it does,
Who
doesn't it?
wants?
Orc Ale.
Orc Ale. Okay.
Orc Ale.
Robin, make it for us.
Robin, make Orc Ale. Orc Ale.
God.
I called you Orc Ale instead of Robin. Robin.
Hello, Hello everyone, I'm Robin, and I am super excited to be playing Kaeko Skaar, our Goliath bard, which I will they'll say in the accent first. I was nervous, but Chris did an accent, so I was like, okay, I'll do my accent, and I failed.
I didn't mean to. It was an accident.
We all failed. But yes, she's so excited to meet you, and can't wait to see you on Tuesday for episode 1.
All right, so folks, I hope you enjoyed this session 0 and that you're excited to see us here for episode 1 of Call of the Netherdeep. Thank you so much for tuning into Dork Tales. I've been your Dungeon Master, Kelly, and before we go, I just want to say thank you to all of our sponsors over on patreon.com/dorktales who help make this channel happen, as well as all of our subscribers on Twitch and YouTube. In specific, I want to thank my divine producer, DM Michael Gray, my demonic producers, Precarious, Soul Omen, and my princes of the Patreon, Taryn, Dustin, Cubby Gummy, Trizelta, and Aeolus, the Forever Cleric. Thank you all so much. You guys are amazing, and I can't wait to share this adventure with you and the rest of you dorks here on Dork Tales. Without further ado, let's go check in on Critical Role, and surprise, it was me the entire time!
I'm shocked.
He's actually Matt Mercer's talking about the book right now. He's talking.
All right,
about
well, let's go check that out.
amazing.
Let's go. Critical.
Let's go.
Roll. Critical.
Thank you.
Raid. All right. Good night, YouTube. Good night, Twitch. We'll see you later. We'll see you later. Let's go get them. All right. Oh, the reveal. I know, right?
It's so much fun.
Oh, it's gonna be.
I really can't wait.
It's gonna be a great game, folks.